coming to magnetic field of a toroid. Magnetic field of a toroid. Okay, magnetic field of a toroid. So, what is toroid? An endless solenoid in the form of a ring is called a toroid. The field lines inside the toroid are circular with the constant of toroid, with the center of toroid. So, what is toroid? An endless solenoid in the form of a ring is called toroid. Okay, so we know that the shape of toroid already explained in previous session. Okay, an endless toroid, an endless solenoid. Okay. A, B. Okay, so this we can say toroid. This we can say toroid. Okay, see here at A we can send current, at B current is out from the toroid. Out from the toroid. Okay, so we can get the field lines inside the toroid, not outside the toroid. Okay, so how we can find the magnetic field of a toroid? Already we derived last class the magnetic field of a solenoid. Magnetic field of a solenoid. Okay, see here, consider 3 points. Consider 3 points which are arranged in at the center of the toroid and middle of the toroid and outer surface of the toroid. We can take three places. Okay, 3 places. Okay, see here, 1, 2, 3. We have to find 3 places magnetic field of a toroid at 1, 2, 3. Okay, so consider a small diagram. Consider a small diagram. Okay, this is say this is toroid. Okay, so inside this is 1 ampere loop. This is R1. Second, this is first one. Second one inside the toroid. So this is ampere loop. Okay, so by using ampere loop, so we have to apply ampere circuit law. From that we have to find magnetic field of a toroid. This is 2. Radius is R2. Radius is R2. So and outside the toroid, outside the toroid, that is R3. Okay, so according to diagram, the field lines are out from outer edge of a toroid. Okay, see at point 1, at point 2, this is 2, and this is 3. Here 3. At the 3 points we have to find magnetic field. So by using ampere circuit law we have to find the magnetic field of a toroid. So what is ampere circuit law? The line integral of a magnetic field over any closed surface in vacuum, which is equal to mu naught times of net current. Integral PdL is equal to mu naught I net. This is ampere circuit law. Okay, see here at position 1, B is equal to 0. At position 1, B is equal to 0. means directly we can say there is no magnetic field. Okay, B is equal to 0. Okay, so at the third point, the field outside the outer edge of the toroid, magnetic field is 0. Only we can get a magnetic field inside the toroid. Here also B is equal to 0. B is equal to 0. Okay, so at 2 we have to find at the second point, at the center of the toroid, we have to find the magnetic field by using Ampere's circuit law. Okay, so at the second point we can apply integral BdL is equal to mu naught I. Okay, understand? So B into integral of dl is equal to mu naught number of turns per unit length, small l, number of turns per unit length, and the length of the toroid, and total current. So integral dl is equal to L from 0 to L. Okay, here we can take L is equal to 2 pi R because circumference of circle. Okay, say it is the total length of the circle which is inside the toroid. B L 0 to L is equal to mu naught N into L into I. Okay, so how we can calculate the total current means number of turns per unit length, total length of toroid, and current. Okay, the total current in the toroid is small n, capital N into I. Okay, so we can substitute limits, upper limit minus lower limit, mu naught into N into L into I. Okay, B into capital L is equal to mu naught N L I. L gets cancelled. B is equal to mu naught N into I. Okay, so this is the magnetic field of a toroid. Okay, so instead of vacuum, is there any other medium is there? The magnetic field will changes. Magnetic field, this is in vacuum. Other medium means we can say mu is equal to mu r into mu naught. Okay, B is equal to mu r mu naught into N into I. Okay, magnetic field of a toroid in vacuum is equal to mu naught into N into I. Given current 11 amperes. Current I is equal to 11 amperes. And number of turns is 3,500 turns. Number of turns is 3,500. So we know that toroid having inner and outer radius. Inner radius R1 is equal to outer radius R2 is equal to, they given 25 and 26 centimeters. 25 centimeters and 26 centimeters. The average R is equal to R1 plus R2 divided by 2. So R is equal to 25.5 centimeters. That is equal to 25.5 into 10 power minus 2 meters. Okay, centi means 10 power minus 2. Centi means 10 power minus 2. Okay, so in this case we have to find the magnetic field outside, inside, and inside the toroid. Inside the toroid. Coming to first case. Okay, first one, B inside the toroid. B inside the toroid means so this is toroid. You know that the diagram of toroid. Okay, here at Roman number 1, at this point we have to find the magnetic field. So at 1, B is 0 means magnetic field is 0. At inside the toroid, this is Roman number 2. Inside the toroid, already we know that the formula B is equal to mu naught into N into Y for both solenoid and toroid having same formula to get the magnetic field. Okay, B is equal to mu naught N number of turns per unit length. So the length of the toroid is 2 pi r. Length of the toroid is L is equal to 2 pi r because length of the circle, circumference of circle given by 2 pi r. N divided by 2 pi r into I. Okay, we can substitute values. Mu naught value, it is constant, 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 into number of turns 3500 divided by 2 pi r. We know that r value 25. 2 pi into 25.5 into 10 power minus 2 into 11. Okay. 5 gets cancelled, 2 1s, 2 2s. Okay, understand? Remaining 10 power minus 2 here, 10 power minus 7 is there. We can get minus 5. B is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 5 into 3500 divided by 25.5 into 11. So by cancellation we can get B is equal to 3.02 into 10 power minus 2 Tesla. 10 power minus 2 Tesla. 10 power minus 2 Tesla. And third case, outside the toroid. So according to derivation, outside the toroid, the magnetic field is 0. Okay, at third Roman, B is equal to 0. Outside the toroid, the magnetic field is coming to force on a moving charge. Force on a moving charge in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, so when a particle means when a charged particle is moves with velocity v inside the uniform magnetic field, then the force is acting on it is F is equal to QVB. Okay, so when a charged particle which is moves in a uniform magnetic field, the force experienced by the charge is F is equal to Q into V cross B. Okay, so this is we can say cross product or vector product Q VB sin theta. Okay, Again we can write according to vector. According to vectors, you can write vectors cross product q vb sin theta. V bar cross b is equal to vb sin theta. Okay. So first consider a magnetic field. Okay. This into represent always into represent the magnetic field lines are enter into the board. The magnetic field lines are enter into the board. Consider a charged particle. Say it is positive or negative, whatever may be. The charged particle moves perpendicular to the magnetic field. Perpendicular to the magnetic field. Theta is equal to 90 degrees. Theta is equal to 90 degrees. With velocity v, the force experienced by the charged particle is F is equal to QEB. F is equal to QEB. Here, some different. If a charged particle moves perpendicular to the magnetic field means so the charged particle experiences different motion. See, so consider a point there charge is located according to Fleming left hand rule. The force experienced on the charge is upward direction. So how we can find the force which is acting on the charged particle means by using Fleming left hand rule. Okay, see, take your left hand, arrange three fingers mutual perpendicular to each other, thumb, middle and forefinger. Okay, so in this case all, four fingers always indicates the magnetic field, direction of magnetic field. Middle finger indicates the motion of charge or current direction. The motion of charge and current direction. So by using two fingers, we can find the third one, that is force. Okay, see here. Forefinger magnetic field into the board, and the middle finger indicates the direction of the charge particle. So thumb indicates the direction of force. Okay, that force is acting continuously. The force is acting. Okay, so finally due to this type of force, the charged particle moves in a circular path. The charged particle moves in a circular path. Okay, at any point, the charged particle is perpendicular to the magnetic field, so that the particle experiences some force. Okay, so which is in circular motion. We can understand. So from the circular motion, we have to find some different parameters. That is, what is the force? So what is the charge? What is the radius of the circle? Okay. So what happens if the velocity vector it is not 90 degrees with the magnetic field? Okay. Understand? Now, how we can find the radius of the circle? Okay. So when a charged particle moves perpendicular to the magnetic field, we know that the particle moves in a circular path. So when a charged particle gets a circular motion means its centripetal and centrifugal force is equal. The particle set into circular motion. Here the force is F is equal to QED, and which is equal to centripetal force. F is equal to mv square by r. Okay, centripetal force is need. The particle moves in a circular path. Every circular path, centripetal force plays very important role. Okay, so by using equation 1 and equation 2, if this force due to magnetic field and centripetal force are equal, the particle exhibits in circular motion. Otherwise, the particle will not move in a circular path. So, by using these two equations, we have to find radius of the path. Okay, from 1 and 2, mv square by r is equal to qvv. Vv gets cancelled. Okay, mv by r is equal to qv. Okay, mv square by r is equal to qvv. Vv gets cancelled. mv by r is equal to qv. r is equal to mv by qv. r is equal to mv by qv. Understand? Radius of the circular path is given. R is equal to mv by qv. mv by qv. Okay, understand? So R is equal to mv by qv. Okay, so coming to, if the path of a charged particle, it is not perpendicular, it is not 90 degrees. Okay, if a charged particle not follows 90 degrees. Okay, not follows 90 degrees. The path is helical path. Okay, helical path like this. Okay, x, y, z. X, y, z. Okay, understand? Okay, the path of charged particle is given by helical motion. Okay, so this is radius. Okay, this is radius, and the distance between one circle to another circle, we can say pitch. Okay, the distance between same point between two circles. Coming to, so we have to find momentum also. We have to find momentum. Okay, from this we have to find momentum. This is equation 3. We can find momentum. Momentum means the product of mass into velocity. P is equal to mv. mv is equal to qvr. mv is equal to p is equal to qvr. This is momentum, equation 4. Okay, so we can write p is equal to qvr. Understand? Next we have to find kinetic energy. So we know that relation, equation 4. We know that relation, kinetic energy is equal to p square by 2m. Okay, understand? Kinetic energy K is equal to q square b square r square by 2m. Okay, understand? Kinetic energy K is equal to q square b square r square divided by 2m. Equation 5. Next, so we have to find the time period. Okay, so we know that time period t is equal to 2 pi r divided by v. So t is equal to 2 pi into what is radius? mv by qv. 2 pi into mv by qv divided by v. Vv gets cancelled. T is equal to 2 pi m by qb, 2 pi m by qb. So this is the time period. We can say this is time period. Time period equation 6. Equation 6. Equation 6 is called time period. So we can write here t is equal to 2 pi m divided by qb. So this is given by time period equation 6. Next, frequency. Frequency, it is denoted f or n, which is equal to reciprocal of time period. F is equal to m, that is equal to reciprocal, means qb by 2 pi m. This is the frequency, equation 7. Then we have to find the angular velocity. Before that, we have to find pitch. How we can find this pitch? Okay, parallel velocity into time. Pitch is a distance between two circles. Okay, so the distance between first circle to second circle, we can say pitch. Pitch, it is a distance. P is equal to pitch. Pitch is equal to parallel velocity into time period. Okay, so at this point, like this, V parallel, V tangential. Okay, understand? So the component of velocity vector is given by parallel and tangential. By that, result will takes the path is helical. Pitch P is equal to V parallel into time period. Time period 2 pi m divided by qb. So this is pitch. This is equation 8. And so all of you copy this diagram. So after equation 8, so we can get angular velocity. Okay, we know that T is equal to 2 pi by omega. From oscillations chapter, omega is equal to 2 pi by T. Okay, 2 pi into reciprocal of time period, qb divided by 2 pi m. Okay, 2 pi by t is equal to 2 pi m by qb. 2 pi gets cancelled. qb by m. Okay, but finally we can get angular velocity is qb by m. Okay, these are the different parameters of a charged particles. Which is passing perpendicular to the magnetic field. If the velocity of charged particle is not 90 degrees with the magnetic field, the particle follows helical path. Okay, from that we have to find different parameters. Force on a moving charge in a uniform magnetic field and electric field. Okay, so in previous one we have to discuss about a charged particle which is passing through a magnetic field. That magnetic field using uniform charged particle is most perpendicular to the magnetic field. Okay, here in this case, consider a charged particle which is moves under magnetic and electric field. So what is the nature of force which is acting on the charged particle? If magnetic and electric forces are equal, so what happens? What is the path followed by a charged particle? So say we can say that is Lorentz force. Lorentz force is defined as the sum of electric and magnetic force. The sum of electric and magnetic force. So F Lorentz is equal to F electric and F magnetic. F magnetic. So we know that F electric is equal to QE. Okay. So from electric field we have to find electrostatic force F is equal to QE plus magnetic force Q V bar cross V. QVV. So F is equal to Q is common, E plus V bar cross V. Okay, so this force we can say Lorentz force. Okay, so Lorentz force means sum of magnetic and the sum of magnetic and electric force is called Lorentz force. So coming to velocity selector. Velocity selector, very important one. Velocity selector. Velocity selector. So when a charged particle moves in a electric and magnetic field, so with the help of intensity of electric field and magnetic field, we are changing electric field and magnetic field. So when or until we can get magnetic force is equal to electric force. So until E and B, electric field and magnetic field will changes until magnetic force gets equal to electric force. So what happens? Okay, so FB, QVB, FE, QE, QQ gets cancelled. B is equal to E by B. Okay, V is equal to E by B. This V is equal to E by B is called velocity selector. Velocity selector. So the above condition can be used to select a charged particle of a particular velocity from charges among with different speed. It is called velocity selector. Okay, so with the help of electric and magnetic field, with the help of electric and magnetic field, we can equal the electric and magnetic force. So by that we can get a velocity selector. So if both are equal, if electric and magnetic force are equal, what happens? The charged particle is undeflected. So that when the charged particle moves in a magnetic and electric force, the particle is undeflected. So that particle having particular speed, that speed is called velocity selector.